It's time for Down on the Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Brood Awakening Coffee, with 3 locations to serve you. Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby, Highway 62 412 at Balmer Boulevard, and the Walmart East Plaza. And now, Down on the Corner.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas and Southern Missouri. It is Thursday, January 25th, 2018. It is 7 a.m. And beautiful morning. I was just noticing the sunrise as I was coming and running, just a hint behind time today.
I run so early I don't even see the sunrise in the morning.
And it's going to be a pretty day. Going to be a little bit warmer today, and looking forward to that. And so, going to be nice.
A little warmer would be good.
Yeah.
I could take that.
Yeah, it's still January, though. It's still January.
Oh, we've got a long ways to go on the weather, though. I mean,
yeah.
We got February and possibly into March. It can get
ugly, February.
So
there again, I'd been a great bear. You know, I'd hibernate until spring, and then come out, you know.
See, I love the winter.
You like winter?
I do. I love the winter. I like a little bit of snow that we get. I don't mind the cold. And
I just don't like it when it's just so unbearably cold and icy you just can't get things done.
True. But if it stayed lower 30 degrees, a little bit of snow on the ground, I'd be a happy camper.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Down on the Corner program. Dale Hoffman, your host, along with Scooter Callis this morning.
We're missing somebody.
Oh, he's not here.
I mean, you didn't even notice. I mean, that's kind of sad. Poor Jerry. Jerry's not here today. He's at home.
Oh, well, he'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. He'll bounce back quick.
Yeah. Well, it's probably that mule's nose.
He's probably cleaning it. It's been so inaccurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's that mule's nose. That's what it is. He's working on his mule today. That's what it is.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Anyway, we're enjoying Brood Awakening Coffee here at the station. Hope you're doing the same wherever you are. Brood Awakening Coffee is the best coffee in town. And if you don't believe me, stop by and have a cup with us sometime. And I think you'll agree.
People can stop in any time in the mornings and actually watch the show live.
Sure.
We've got a sitting area over here, and people can come by and grab some coffee. And
we got 2 recliners we can pull out, and people can be nice and comfy with their coffee. 3 locations to serve you. Brood Awakening is on Balmer Boulevard, and of course 62 East Plaza, and Baxter Regional Medical Center's lobby. And so 3 great locations to serve you with Brood Awakening Coffee. And so, how about the morning prayer?
All right.
And I'm so pleased to have Roller Funeral Homes to bring that every day. Roller Funeral Homes of North Central Arkansas, of course, with all our respect. And
they're just a great group of people, though. I mean, you get a chance to actually talk to them.
You know, when you think of the business that they're in, and yet to be so professional and so caring, and what's another word here? You know,
and that's the hard part is you're in a very tough position right there. You're dealing with people at their worst of times, and to realize that that's what you have a passion for, that you have a passion to go in and help people at that point. And that's, talking to Bradley, that's where he's at. He's like, this is what I am supposed to do.
It's got to be a calling.
It's awesome.
It's got to be a calling. And, of course, the students from the Mountain Home Christian Academy are doing our prayer this week. This morning, William Mooney, who is a Mountain Home Christian Academy student, will be bringing our morning prayer. And before he brings us the prayer, I want to tell you about Mountain Home Christian Academy. They take no government funding, and they teach no Common Core. They use a Becca curriculum, and it's a great Christian environment. So now for our morning prayer, William Mooney, student at Mountain Home Christian Academy. William?
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this wonderful day. I pray for the people who are traveling and the people who are sick in the hospital. Pray for the people who have cancer. Thank you that we get to pray anytime we want on the radio or at our home. Thank you for family, and just thank you for everything you've given us. Thank you for sending your son Jesus to die on the cross. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Do me a favor.
Awesome job.
Now move the microphone over just a little bit so we can see your face. There you go. Now get another shot of William right there. Slide that microphone. It won't hurt anything. Just move it to your left or right. Just pull it out of the way. Yeah.
There you go.
Just like you're swatting.
See your face a little bit.
There you go. Bring it all the way out of the way. There you go.
Well, did you have fun?
Yep.
Yeah.
How's school going this year? Good?
Yeah.
Good. Are you involved in any sports activities?
Oh, no.
No?
But I'll play soccer in the spring.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Got us a soccer
Soccer's a
player.
good sport. Soccer's a good sport.
Well, that'll get you in shape, won't it?
It will. Keep your feet moving.
William, thank you. You did not stand there. There's those air knuckles we were talking about. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Amazing job.
Trying not to cough. Morning weather brought to you by your local Sears store, right here in Mountain Home, just around the corner. Take a look at them for all your appliance needs, tools needs, both woodworking and mechanics tools. And can't beat Sears.
And what does Jerry say? They even got basketball goals.
Even got basketball goals, yeah.
They've got a little bit of everything.
Lawn care equipment.
I'm a tool fan when it comes to Sears, though, because I love that. My ratchet broke. Here you go. I need another one.
There you go.
I love that. And that they're a local hometown store. They're not a big corporate thing. They're owned and operated here locally, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Really is.
Be sure to support your hometown Sears store, operated locally and owned right here in Mountain Home. Great
You know,
family.
the downfall is I'm fixing to bring up the temperatures. And do you know what the temperatures usually cover up?
Jerry.
Yeah. And unfortunately, because the camera angle is going to cover you up.
Aw, ain't that terrible?
He got, when he was in the hot seat the other day, and I covered him up, and he's like, why is it every time I move, I'm covered up?
Well, time to cover me up. 34 degrees in Mountain Home, 35 at Harrison, 31 at Hardy. It's 21 in Mountain View, Arkansas, 24 at Yellow. Marshall checks in at 21, while it's 34 at Calico Rock. Poplar Bluff, Missouri, on Highway 67 is at 25 degrees. Branson at 41 on US 65. West Plains, Missouri, and US 63 at 160 is 39 degrees. In contrast, today, up in the northern part of the country, Watford City, North Dakota, checks in at 18, while it's 4 degrees, as it should be in Anchorage, Alaska.
You got to throw Alaska in there.
Well, I mean, when they were
just
38 and we were minus
just something
4.
to compare with.
Yeah, I mean,
It could be worse, guys.
It could be
Here's
worse.
Anchorage, Alaska.
I remember a week or so ago, it was like minus 4 here.
Yeah.
We're freezing to death. It's 38 in Anchorage. Come on, give me a break. That's terrible.
Yeah, it was backwards there.
For a while, yeah.
I remember that.
And we'll take another look at that radar. We'll take a first look at your radar. It's still not a lot of moisture out here in the United States. We've got a round of precip showing up from California. Of course, Oregon and Washington's West Coast always getting something.
I'm seeing a little blip pop up.
Yeah. It just kind of blips over Arkansas and then comes back and just disappears. See it right there?
Yep.
I don't know.
Kind of
California,
blips and
Nevada,
disappears.
Idaho, and Montana getting some precip right now, and I'm sure that in Montana is going to be freezing because I bet it's bitter cold up there.
It's,
Most of the Midwest and the East and the Southeast and Southwest are clear. There's just not a lot going on.
Nope.
It
Go ahead
sure
and click
makes
on
a,
Arkansas and see if that glitch is, or that glip is showing up on the
All right.
local radar there. I'm just curious.
Go ahead and look at that. Isn't
Yeah,
that
see.
interesting?
There's a little blip there somewhere.
Yeah. Showing shower activity east of Little Rock on I-40 towards Memphis and up towards Jonesboro on Highway 63. That's interesting.
I'll be darned.
Huh.
There you
Wonder
go.
what it would be. Let's see if I can find another radar stop here. Probably not. That's weird.
That is weird.
Never know. So, it's kind of odd this time of year. I mean, this is January 25th, and there's not a lot of precip going on, even in the northern part of the country. Minnesota and the Dakotas and Nebraska. What do you think?
I think it's weird. I would have thought there'd be more
You would think.
out there, but it is what it is.
So, supposed to be nice and warm today.
I'm excited for that though. We need that.
Yeah.
It's been chilly the other day. I woke up and I mean the whole window was frosted over, and Jerry said he was using his credit card to try to get the ice off, and I'm one of them that I'll find that little spot there, and I can get down the road enough till it thaws out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I got a question for you.
Oh no!
What
here
were
we
you
go.
doing 1 month ago today? William, thank you. Have a great day at school. William's
Thank
going
you,
to exit
William.
right now. That's fine. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
That's
Thank you.
awfully cool of them to come over here and do that in the mornings. Those
It
morning
is.
prayers. It really
Tell you
is.
what, great students here at Mount Christian Academy. What were you
I
doing
do.
a month ago today?
Oh gosh, I don't remember back that far. What was it?
Isn't that amazing? My whole point.
Yeah.
What was a month ago today?
Oh gosh, Christmas.
Yeah.
That seems like it's been a lot longer than a month.
Doesn't it, though? It seems like eons.
Oh yeah. I mean, now that you say it, I'm looking back. Saying,
The funny thing
"That
was
a
the
month
look
ago
on
was
your face
Christmas."
like, wait a minute, it was Christmas. 1 month ago today was Christmas Day. Isn't it funny what
that is
one
weird.
month can make a difference?
That is weird. That one. All right, I'll give you that. That one threw me. I wasn't.
You know,
I wouldn't
and
have thought of that.
I can pull that on people every January 25th. And at one point in the mornings, we used to have a morning devotional when the kids were little, and I read the Christmas story on January 25th. Why are you reading the Christmas story? What were we doing 1 month ago today? I don't know. You were opening gifts.
You know, the sad part is I actually had to look at the date on the
And you
the
had to
computer
think about it.
and think about it because it just seems like it's been a lot longer.
Only a month ago.
All right, you got me.
Only a month ago. Isn't that weird? 1 month ago today was Christmas.
You got me. You got me.
But
I'll give you that.
Time marches on. I mean, 1 month ago today, you know, I was getting ready to do a turkey and a ham and all kinds of things. And one of my boys came over and we're having a great time. It's just
Oh, it seems so much further than
only
that,
a
though.
month.
Unreal.
But, you know, when the senator gets here, waiting on Senator Scott Flippo, I hope we have time and help me remember this.
you got to ask him what he was doing a month ago today.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see what his.
Oh, yeah. Remind
and
me.
then watch him come right back. Well, that was Christmas, and then ruin your whole thing. But,
I think we can get it on him.
I
think we get him.
We'll try.
Unless he's tuned in watching. You know, that's the whole.
He may be watching
He
on
may
the
be
ride
watching
up.
on, you know.
Don't be watching your phone while driving. No.
But you know, there's been some tragedies in some families in our local area, and one in particular was a suicide, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you know, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. Have we become, and it's not just us in Mountain Home, it's the United States, have we become so complacent to entertainment that we take life and death as a fantasy and not a reality? You see what I'm saying? Because you've got all these computer games and stuff like this, and, you know, I'll be sitting there eating supper and I'll watch the news on Channel 3, and then NBC runs their promos, and even the violence in the television.
Yeah, but
Sure.
there's still that breaking emotional tie, though, that I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see that that's
And
really
then
being crossed. And I see how people look at that and say, hey, the kids are doing these violent games and they're, you know, they got to be
Yeah.
immune to it. But, you know, look at my son. He plays the video games just like anybody else.
and he's fine.
And, you know, there's no emotional connection to that he has.
And then you've got the
In
shooter
real life.
in Kentucky, 15 years old. 15 years old. He will never go back to his bedroom. He will never have Christmas
Yeah.
Day again. 1 month ago today, that boy was having Christmas. Whether good or bad, he was having Christmas.
Yep.
1 month later, he's in custody facing 2 counts of murder and many attempted murder charges. And that to me, that is just so sad. When I saw they had his face blurred out because he's a minor, they had his face blurred out on the camera as they were taking him out of the school there in Kentucky. And I thought, he'll never have a normal life again.
No. No.
You know, and the families that have lost loved ones due
And
to...
and I'll never understand what does trigger that to somebody to step over to that point, to that far, you know, to make that decision. That's, you know, I just don't.
What examples are we teaching the kids? And I go back a year ago to the inauguration of Donald Trump when they had pictures of 12-year-old kids in the streets of D.C. setting fires. Why are you setting a fire? Well, because Donald Trump's president. Well, it's supposed to be a celebration. Why are you busting the windows out of a Starbucks? Why are you breaking this? Why are you tearing stuff up? Why are you setting limos on fire? What are we teaching the kids? If you don't get your way, then take it out on somebody else.
Yeah.
You know. That's my 2 cents worth.
I mean, it's sad. I'll give you that. And I mean, it was the riots that happened and stuff like that, which just don't make any sense. And the sad part is a lot of times the people doing it don't even know exactly the reason why they're doing it.
I know. When I was in Washington, D.C., I think it was November of 11, we had an Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Washington protest. Oh my goodness, what a day, what a night. And it's just unbelievable, some of the stupid things that went on in those protests. It was just totally crazy.
I was watching one on TV where this guy went out. He was like a reporter that went out talking to people, and it was just a protest, and it didn't get out of line or anything, but he just wanted to prove a point. So he went out there and started interviewing people, and he wasn't on one side or the other. He just interviewed, hey, you got a chance to state your point. He asked simple questions. Why are you protesting? What does it mean to you to protest? Half the people had no clue. And they come up with these statements that have nothing to do with what's going on right there. And he's like, I don't get it. Why are you doing it?
This is a crazy analogy, but you remember in 1970, John and Yoko had the Bed In for Peace. Grow your hair long to protest. That's why the hair got long, real long. Grow your hair for peace. Because it is a peaceful protest, you know.
Which
and
is
something else he said during that protest or during that Bed In for Peace, only the ignorant cry the loudest. So do something peaceful to protest.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense.
I
you
have
can
no
protest peacefully.
I have no issue with protests.
I
mean, you have the right to voice your opinion. You have the right, and I have no issues with that at all. It's when they take it over that line and the violence and the trying to push your point instead of trying to protest your point. Right. It becomes a different ballgame, and I don't get that. I don't see where anybody wins.
And so with this being midterm election year, we're going to welcome as many candidates to our set here as we can bring in, and all parties are welcome. And they'll be treated with honor and dignity and respect. We may disagree, but
which is fine.
That's what we're for.
I mean, the whole point is to, you may have a different opinion, bring it to the table.
Yeah, totally.
We're not going to argue because we believe a different way. And, hey, say your piece. We may not agree with you, which is fine.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
So
it's just how it goes.
Anyway, we are waiting for the arrival of Senator Scott Flippo, and we're going to take a quick break. More with Down on the Corner program right after this.
We will be right back.
Cover up the pain, and you've tried dieting to help lose weight. Before you try something drastic like surgery to get rid of the numbness and tingling, why don't you try a better approach to health? Hi, I'm Dr. Charles Osgood, and at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we heal the whole person the natural way.
At Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we take a hands-on approach to chiropractic care, massage therapy, and nutritional counseling. Our 20 years of service has led to successful results.
When I come in to see Dr. Osgood, sometimes after one adjustment, I have immediate relief. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 adjustments.
I recommend Mountain Home Family Chiropractic because it really works and keeps me pain-free.
Mountain Home Family Chiropractic supports the community by donating to Mountain Home Food Basket and the Lions Club. Request an appointment with us today at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic. Excellence for your body and frame alignment.
They said, I'm not ready to move. I'm not ready for such a change. I'm not ready to give up my independence. Then, after receiving a lot of love and encouragement, they moved to the Good Samaritan Society. They said, I should have done it years ago.
Senior care and services from the Good Samaritan Society.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Why would I recommend Hospice the Ozarks? Because I know the people that work there, I know their hearts, and I know that their desire is to help people with the suffering and the anxiety and the things that can come with either terminal diagnosis or a terminal condition. We want them to have a peace of heart and to have a comfort and to know that someone's there to help them through that so they can enjoy the time that they have.
Hello, I'm Charles Ferguson. Here at Mountain View Chevrolet, we still do business the old-fashioned way with honesty and integrity. And we have a good inventory of new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs from large to small. Our service department has all GM certified technicians, and our friendly salespeople are ready and eager to fit a car, truck to your needs.
Local choice for quality name brand furniture at prices anyone can afford. They carry a great selection of catnapper recliners, power recliners with lumbar support and lift chairs. Check out Furniture Depot's variety of
Door service trash pickup for those that aren't able to take their trash to the curb. We'll also pick up almost anything and even provide free recycling. I am Ricky with Arch Trash Pickup, and please give me a call for all your trash service needs.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
More than just
And we are back. It's 7:23, and as he walks through the door, all right, Senator Scott Flippo.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm well. How are you all doing?
Good. Good to see you.
I appreciate the call out on Facebook yesterday, Dale.
Oh, did I get you again?
Oh, absolutely.
That
You got
is
me.
so
Don't act surprised. Don't act surprised.
That is so funny.
So, tell Scooter what you do to me every time that you call or send me a text and I don't respond immediately.
I go on Facebook, and of course, you've got Senator Rapert and Senator Irwin, everybody, you know. He was at the Capitol one time, like it was yesterday. If anyone knows that Senator Scott Flippo is still on the planet, will you please have him call me?
Oh, and no. This is if you don't respond, you know, to Dale within like 10 minutes. You know, he's like a jealous ex-girlfriend or something that just, you know, as soon as they hang up, they call you right back or text you right back. And
how many people commented?
And so I said, Dale, you know, I'm driving to Little Rock. I have a 10-year-old Honda Civic with no Bluetooth or anything. I said, I'm just sitting here trying to respect the, you know, the rules of the road, and you're calling me. And then I get to Little Rock, and you know, I get on my phone and look on Facebook, and I see he's called me out on social media. It's a good thing we're friends, Dale. Good thing we're friends.
It's hilarious.
I love it. I love it.
You should try my side of the fence here. I know exactly where you're coming from.
Oh, you have your own stories.
Oh, God.
It is so funny. I mean, every senator and every House representative, you need to call Dale and Mountain Home.
Do you got to call Dale Hoffman? I was like, do I have to call Dale? Really? Do I have to? Now when Dale calls or texts, I always like to make him wait for at least 24 hours and sweat it out. You know, he could literally call me. I could be sitting there on my couch and doing nothing, and I'd still let it go to voicemail and call him back 10 hours later.
That is funny.
Well, welcome, by the way.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Now the big
I know last time you were here, you drove all the way up from Little Rock. He does the show, and then at the end of the show, he's talking to, I'm driving back.
Driving right back.
Holy
It's the kind of senator and the kind of guest that I am, is that, you know, I'm willing to do that and to get on this show. You know, this is a tough ticket.
Oh, yeah.
And so when Dale calls, you know, he usually doesn't give a lot of advance notice, or at least to me anyway. And so you kind of have to
I
make
gave
those.
you like 30 hours notice.
Was it a full 30? That would insist that it was more than a day. So no, what he did is he sends me a text at like 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, and it's like, hey, had somebody cancel. Can you come on the show tomorrow? And I said, yeah, I can do that. As I'm sitting at the apartment in Little Rock, and I was like, okay, so jump in my car, drive back, wake up at 6:30, come on your show, and go right back down to Little Rock. And Dale, I didn't get a per diem or mileage or nothing for doing that.
Really?
A legislator going somewhere and
you
not
need
getting
to
a
get
per
paid
diem.
for it.
Well, y'all don't have a fund here at the station?
Well, Gil, are you watching? Pay the center.
No, I'm always happy to be on here with my friends.
A lot of fun.
What's going on this morning?
Got a question for you.
What you got?
What were you doing 1 month ago today? Tick, tick.
25th. I was in Fayetteville celebrating Christmas with my dad and his wife.
There you go.
You should have seen the look on Scooter's face.
Okay, yeah, I was like, okay, 1 month ago today. What should I have been doing?
Isn't that amazing?
You know the sad part is you had to think about the date.
Yeah.
And Christmas was 1 month ago. That's it. And he's sitting there. What did you do month ago? And I'm thinking, man, I've done a lot since then. And then I look down at the date and wait a minute, that was Christmas.
Yeah. So it's an odd question. It's kind of like, well, what did you have for breakfast Wednesday 2 weeks ago? Well, golly, I don't know. I'm sure I had something.
We're all waiting to hear.
Yeah, no. Well, I had the meat lovers. You know that, Scooter.
Oh.
So whenever I go to his restaurant, I always get the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to ask you a few things. There's been a few tragedies going on in the families here, and substance abuse is just out of hand. I think even NBC News is recognizing the fact the opioid epidemic. Excuse me. Don't you just love that cough? And we have a high rate of suicide. We've got the opioid epidemic. Where do we start cleaning this up?
First of all, you got to start your front porch. And so, along with what government can do, which is public awareness and work to change laws, and which we've done in the legislature is, one of the things that physicians are now required is to check in with a physician monitoring program. It's a website, and so they can see if if their patient is doctor shopping. So, if you go to a doctor for some pain medicine because you have a lower back problem, well, they have to go to this website and they can look and see if you've been to any other doctors and if they've prescribed you any other narcotics, and if so, what they are.
Good job.
And so, it's a simple thing like that, but that alone is not going to be a silver bullet or anything. And so for parents to be educating their children, and, this is kind of something that addiction, this is a tough issue.
It is.
So if you take away access to something, and we'll just use prescription drugs as that example, if you restrict access and clamp down on access to prescription drugs, does a person just automatically cease to become an addict? No. You still got to deal with that. And
Did you see NBC News in Philadelphia last night?
I did not.
All along the interstate corridors, where they have the viaducts, where the railroad bridges are over there and highways and stuff like that, the addicts line the concrete barricades and areas right there.
So I did hear where I think I read or saw in the news a couple days ago where Philadelphia's gotten actually creating a safe zone for addicts to shoot up.
They're actually getting something that will keep them from overdosing.
Overdosing?
Yeah.
And so,
in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, they're at 100% success rate since implementing a certain program. They've had 0 deaths on the overdose.
Now, are they seeing a reduction in the number of users? So does that program equate to actually getting to the root of the problem?
That was a big issue.
And I think there's a thing that I look at in my capacity as a senator is not just throwing money at a problem,
right,
but looking to get at the root of the problem.
And solving the problem.
And this is a good example for a lot of other problems that government tries to deal with, is that government alone is not going to fix it. I'm a big believer that citizens and government need to be working in conjunction and meeting, and at some point you're going to meet halfway.
Yeah.
So if what you're doing as a parent as a responsible adult and trying to educate your young children, your family members, and what we're doing in government, we need to be working in conjunction here, because if you just assume that it's going to be the folks in Little Rock that are going to wave their magic wand and find the silver bullet to fix this, you're going to be, sorely disappointed. And so, there's things that we all need to be working on. And the first thing is, and when we're there, is we've identified the problem. Now, it sounds easy, but sometimes that's not so easy. And so once we've identified this problem, is with any number of issues, it's not like a one or two pronged approach. There's going to be several different avenues from which you have to approach this as. And I think unfortunately, you look at the internet, there's always a good and a bad side to things, but kids can get on YouTube or Facebook and they can see what kids in Pennsylvania are doing and new things they're trying. And we didn't have that.
Tide Pods?
Yeah.
Tide Pods?
Okay.
Like what?
If somebody put you in a room and locked you up and gave you a bottle of hand sanitizer and Tide Pods, would it occur to you that you can consume those
and your clothes?
That you could consume those and get some kind of high? It wouldn't to me.
No.
I mean, literally, I could just sit in a room for years and you give me those two products, and it wouldn't enter my mind that, oh my gosh, if I just take this Tide Pod, or if I can extract this out of the hand sanitizer, I can get myself a nice little buzz. But see, kids can go online today, and they can see that kind of stuff, and they can get that kind of stuff, and so.
So, are we having a problem with fantasy and reality? I asked Scooter that this morning earlier.
It's a good question, and I think we are, and I think that when you see something on the internet, you're not looking at, what's the consequence, what's the long-term consequence of that decision or that action.
Yeah.
You're looking at, say, well, this person did this, and they posted a follow-up video 3 days later, and they seemed fine, so therefore I can go ahead and do it. Now here's the problem with addiction. So one of us could go out there and go to the back 40 and have a cold beer with our burger and have one, put it down, and not have another drink for the rest of the week. An addict goes in there, they're going to drink them dry.
Yeah.
They don't have just one.
Yeah.
And there's the problem that we deal with, is that so while somebody can go and can have a single drink, an addict can't. So if you experimented with marijuana in college and you never touched it again, an addict can go and they take a drug and it's just some chemical imbalance. It's like a switch goes off.
Well, that's like Chef Montgomery said, they're chasing the high.
Exactly.
That's what happens with meth.
And now you've got this trickle-down impact, and so look at how it's affecting children that have parents that are addicts, and what we're seeing in schools, what we're seeing with some of our young people being born, and some of the issues they have because they had parents that were doing drugs when they were pregnant. And I just don't put that on the mother's shoulders, because I'm quite confident that the father was not in the next room studying for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Right.
And so these are difficult issues.
It is.
And I'm sure there were issues when I was coming up, but these certainly weren't to the magnitude of what they are today. And looking at how to get a hold of that. And so I think a lot of what we're doing is, especially with prescription drugs and opioids, is some of the measures that we're putting in place today. They're hopefully going to help prevent future generations from becoming addicted to opioids. Yeah. But it's not going to do much to take those that are currently addicted to opioids. We still have to work to, with the addiction issue. So, these are measures that are being implemented that, the long-term goal is to prevent future generations from becoming addicted. But that still leaves you with today that you have to look at.
Go ahead.
You talked about, the first thing is finding the problem. But you turn around and you start looking at the root of a problem like this.
That's what I was going to bring up.
And it's coming from many directions. It's not just one thing that's causing this avenue, whatever. It could be from the parents. It could be from, the kids are getting it from every direction.
Sure.
So there's not just one route or one direction to say, hey, we cut that off, we got the problem fixed.
On the NBC News report last night, the gentleman that the lady got permission to talk to, he's about 42 to 45 years old, and he's an unemployed construction worker. So it's an economic factor.
So I actually had the opportunity to attend a drug court graduation ceremony in Harrison last month, and really glad that I took the time to drive over there. And I had a chance to visit with two young ladies, and one of them was graduating that day. And they talked to me about their experience with addiction and some of the things that they had gone through. And I was just really taken aback. But one of the things that one of these young ladies told me was that she goes, I'm definitely an addict, but I also don't want to excuse the fact that I was also just stupid and immature, and I didn't want to get clean. And it occurred to me when I was driving to my friend's house with, to get, because I wanted them to get high with me. I knew they had young children, and I knew it wasn't right, but I chose to do it anyway.
Wow.
Now, here's the point that I'm trying to make. Wow. This is somebody that when I was visiting with her, it just became very clear to me. This is somebody that's working to get it figured out, because she wasn't just casting everything as a victim or, I'm just blaming it on addiction. She actually took a degree of responsibility and says, listen, on top of being an addict, I also just made incredibly bad decisions. And I just was immune to the impact of what those decisions had on other people. She goes, I would think about it, but it didn't cause me to change my course of action. And, so I was really kind of taken aback by that. And so I asked him, I said, well, if the state quadruples their funding for, for prescription drug abuse, would that have gotten you help? Would that have made you seek help any sooner? No. What could we have done that had gotten you? There's nothing.
It's personal. You have to want to change
you've got
within
to
yourself.
want to change. Yep. This girl had been in prison 2 times.
How many?
2 times.
2 times.
In Arkansas and Arizona. She was a young mother, and before she finally entered the program, she got in a high-speed chase with law enforcement over in Boone County, wrecked, was severely injured, and even laying in the hospital when one of the drug court officers came to her room to plead with her to take advantage of this program. She still didn't want to do it, and that was kind of the depths of where she was, of where she was, and exactly, and so that was the depths of where she was with her addiction, and finally she just talked about the light bulb kind of going off, and that she says what it was is that I didn't seek help because just for my children, although they certainly deserved it. I did it because I deserved it. And I think that was something that, again, that really struck with me, is that outside of being a mother, a daughter, a loved one, that she as an individual was worthy of help, of having a better life.
Exactly.
And that she really caught on to that.
Every life is valuable.
And there's part of the problem, though. You turn around and you look at any addiction, they always start off realizing you have a problem, because it's got to be about you. So now you're getting into a mental thing where your laws and all the money you put into trying to do this and that, how do you mentally get them to say, okay, I have a problem? And it's a totally different ballgame. Government,
and there's the thing. So that's something that government money is not going to fast track that.
Yeah.
That's really an individual, and everybody's, of course, everybody's different. And to your point, Dale, you mentioned a few minutes ago about the economics of it. And, this is something that, it transcends your ethnicity, your religion, your socioeconomic status, that it affects people from all walks of life, and it affects them equally. It does not, it's like a cancer. It does not discriminate.
Right.
And so, I've had a member of my family that's grappled with a heroin addiction. And they've been in and out of programs, and it's just an incredibly difficult thing. And I don't know that he's still at a point where he's ready to really take ownership of his actions and seek true help. He does it because the courts will say, well, if you don't, we're going to send you to jail. Well, okay, I'm going to go to this treatment program and do this, and but the first time a person seeks help is usually not going to be this magical epiphany in their lives where they're going to say, oh, I've been doing it all wrong. I've got to do A, B, and C things and pull my stuff together. It's usually an ongoing process, so you don't know how many times it's going to take a person to really get to that point where they're really ready to do the heavy lifting to get clean and sober, because that's exactly what it is. The individual has to do the majority of the heavy lifting.
Well, something else that comes to mind, Senator, and I can't help but feel sorry for this kid, but at the same time, I'm angry. The shooter in Kentucky killed 2 students. Both students were 15 years old, and the shooter was 15. Wounded quite a few people, and when I pulled the "What Were You Doing a Month Ago" on the scooter at the opening of the show, I brought out the fact that 1 month ago that kid was probably doing Christmas like everybody else.
Yeah.
1 month later, he will never return to his own bedroom, his own bed, his own home. He'll never have Christmas again in his own home. He may never have his own family.
Sure. And so not just how it impacted him, but think about his family and the impacts that they're, along with the victims of that shooting, that the shooter's family is probably suffering a pretty hard loss and trying to get their minds wrapped around is, how do we miss this? What were did we miss any signs? And it's going to destroy families. And, it's a very unfortunate thing. And again, school shootings, I remember they happened back in the 90s when I was going through school. But with this magnitude, and people tend to be, a resort to violence as your first line of defense. It never occurred to me. I mean, I remember going to school here, high school here in Mountain Home, and a lot of my friends, we still had the gun racks in the back of our trucks in the back window there.
Yeah.
And no metal detectors or anything, or even in those days, we didn't have ID badges. But there was never a concern.
Huh.
I never remember having a conscious concern that, oh my gosh, this person's unstable, or this person's, and I don't remember any of my, the folks that I went to school with, anybody ever took any kind of bullying or anything to the extent where I ever noticed, somebody was just literally, getting beat to a pummel, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally abused. And that would be something, of course, kids can be inherently cruel and they can pick on you. But I never saw things which maybe kids are experiencing today with the internet, and so you don't have a break from it. In those days, in the 80s and 90s, and you left school and you went home, you at least had a 16-hour break before you had to go back. And now, you've got social media and all these other things going on, and so kids are picking on you online, and it's almost like you have no reprieve there. But what's something that you can do that's going to definitively be 100%, foolproof mechanisms to prevent not just school shootings, but any kind of mass shootings? How do you step into somebody's mind and be able to read and see, well, in 6 months, this person, there's a 90% chance they're going to go off and try to kill a person or several people, and we need to start taking actions? And how do you get into that person's mind where you can see where they're at mentally and what they're going to do in the future? I don't know that there is a way.
I don't understand the criminal mind, and I've asked, of course, probably asked you this several times, along with the sheriff and the chief of police and even the governors when we've talked. What is the psychological factors in the mind of a criminal? You watch Ashley Reynolds on Channel 3, and she'll be driving by. Now, see, this guy bought a brand new television set because I know he's got the box out by his trash. Okay, what's your point? People break in to steal a TV. Who in the world wants to steal a freaking TV?
Sure.
I could care less about it.
No.
But still, it's a factor. I thought, oh, okay. And it makes us vulnerable.
It makes us all vulnerable. And, it's this, so understanding kind of a criminal mentality is kind of like trying to understand addiction if you're not an addict.
Right.
It's difficult for me to try to, in my own mind, to take myself to a mentally where I can say is like, be in that person's shoes. I'm still sitting there saying, well, how come you just couldn't have a single drink with dinner, a glass of wine or a cold beer with that hamburger, and then not have anything else for the rest of the week?
I remember a gentleman one time, he enjoyed a beer occasionally. He went and bought, I don't know, what did they come, I don't know, I never buy it.
Sure.
6-pack, 12-pack, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of the St. Louis products, one of the Anheuser products he bought. And he says, well, I bought that about 6 months ago, and 2/3 of the case was still in the refrigerator. And he says, but my brothers, he says, they'd sit there and drink every one of them till it was gone.
Yeah. And Dale,
I can't do that with Coke or Sprite or Pepsi. I mean,
none of it. Yeah. And so, again, it's hard to get your mind around if that's not your reality, if those aren't your circumstances. So if you're not dealing with that, you and I and Scooter will say, well, why didn't you just stop doing drugs?
Yeah.
And again, from an addict,
it's a dependency.
It's a dependency, and it's a I don't know. It's some kind of chemical imbalance or something that that formulates it within you that makes you become an addict. But there's also a level of you have to own your actions too, and you can't just totally just walk off and say, well, I'm just a victim across the board, and so everything that I've done, even bad decisions I've made, is none of it's been my fault. I'm an addict, so I can't take none of it's my fault.
Accountability.
You can't go you can't go that route. And these are difficult things, and so I trace a lot of this back, and this is just my own, Scott's personal opinion. I trace a lot of it back to just the breakdown of the family unit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. That's if you go back to if you've got a mom and a dad, and and it's not predicated upon, again, your socioeconomic status. So your parents could be, your dad could be the janitor, and your mom could be a cook at the high school, and barely getting by, and it still wouldn't make it. They can be great parents and set a great example and raise great children. And I've seen this, I know these people personally, and I see it every day.
Yep.
And so, but they're determined to bring their kids up the right way.
Yep.
To create this environment, and they take it as their responsibility to make sure their kids are ready to learn. They're dressed appropriately when they get to school. They have what they need emotionally, mentally, physically. They've got the things, and their parents take that as their responsibility. And it starts with reading reading to your baby.
Yep. Taking
when
time.
They're 6 months old.
Taking some time.
And taking some time and doing that, and you got to do it day in and day out.
Recognizing their talents already.
Sure. And cultivating those talents and those skill sets, and trying to show them. And again, it's not just what you say and it's what you do. So you got to lead by example.
Yep.
So within your own life, if you don't have your own house in order, it's difficult to try to help somebody else and show somebody else the right way to live if you don't have your own house in order.
Take a break, Scooter. More with the Senator right after this. Stick around.
Be right back.
Propane. Reeves Propane provides you full-service propane delivery as well as tank and piping installation. We are your dependable choice, offering the very best in personal service with on-time deliveries and competitive prices. Reeves Propane also sells and installs tankless water heaters and appliances and can even convert your gas cook stove to liquid propane. So no need to fuss and cuss about bad service. Call us at Reeves Propane. We greatly appreciate your business, and God bless.
Life is too short to wear boring clothes. Welcome to Shabby to Chic Salon and Boutique, where we carry the latest trends and fashions and accessories at prices anyone can enjoy. Feel beautiful while looking fabulous with a large range of fashions that fits anyone's sense of style. You're sure to discover something unique and new at every visit. Shabby to Chic also features 12 professional stylists, aesthetics by Amy J, a nail technician, and 4 tanning beds. Excite your style at Shabby to Chic Salon and Boutique in Mountain Home.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the Pie Lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home. Coming in 2018, VHF Archery Range, brought to you by DeerHunterFan.com TV and Steadyform. This 10,000 square foot indoor climate-controlled archery range will feature 3D targets, 3D pop-up, and state-of-the-art video shooting. DHF Archery Range will be open to the public and available for all ages. It's a great facility for hunters and archers alike and located in the center of the Ozarks in beautiful Bull Shoals, Arkansas. That's DHF Archery Range, coming in 2018. Keep on the lookout for more details and their grand opening announcement soon.
You've tried medications just cover up the pain, and you've tried dieting to help lose weight. Before you try something drastic like surgery to get rid of the numbness and tingling, why don't you try a better approach to health? Hi, I'm Dr. Charles Osgood, and at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we heal the whole person the natural way.
At Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we take a hands-on approach to chiropractic care, massage therapy, and nutritional counseling. Our 20 years of service has led to successful results.
When I come in to see Dr. Osgood, sometimes after one adjustment, I have immediate relief. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 adjustments.
I recommend Mountain Home Family Chiropractic because it really works and keeps me pain-free.
Mountain Home Family Chiropractic supports the community by donating to Mountain Home Food Basket and the Lions Club. Request an appointment with us today at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic. Excellence for your body and frame alignment.
They said, I'm not ready to move. I'm not ready for such a change. I'm not ready to give up my independence. Then, after receiving a lot of love and encouragement, they moved to the Good Samaritan Society. They said, I should have done it years ago.
Senior care and services from the Good Samaritan Society.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
7:51 on this January 25th, 1 month after
flying by.
Yep.
Is it already 7:51? Wow.
Yes.
And would you believe that a week from today is February 1?
You know what? I would believe that.
Yeah. You got fiscal session coming up. Don't
Yes.
remind you, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, but fortunately, for the folks watching, the fiscal session is generally it's about a month long. And we're only dealing with budgetary issues, so we're not making laws across the board and going to be meddling in your day-to-day lives and changing all these other laws. That's in the general session, which is every other year.
So I got to wear my seatbelt for another year.
We don't have to worry about seatbelts, and so, well, I'm still on that, Dale. Don't you worry. Along with a few other things. But this year is our fiscal session, and so dealing primarily with budgetary issues or solely with budgetary issues. And so, although any session's got the propensity to have some stresses to it, it won't be near what it is during the general. And I like it because, it means that I'm not in Little Rock for 3 straight months. Yeah. A month's kind of bearable, but I'm hopeful that, at some point, we just need to combine and go back to the way it was and meet the legislature should meet every other year. The idea that we're going down there, and that's just a very recent development, which some folks might not know, that up until 4 or 5 years ago, the legislature only met every other year. And then, there was legislation that was run to break it out and to create a general session and then a fiscal session. And so...
When you had to meet, though, in previous time, the governor would call special session.
Call a special session. So, to me, I got a life outside of politics. I got a job, a business, and, things going here in North Central Arkansas, and this is where I live, and this is where I want to be spending my time. So, I don't want to spend all my time in Little Rock. So if we can combine that and roll that back over into the fiscal, back into the general, and just kind of do it all with one fell swoop, I think the people of this state will be served just fine. They're going to save a little bit of money in paying us all to be down there. But the bigger thing is that I just don't think that it's the more opportunities that you give government to meet and get together, the greater the likelihood that they're going to be meddling in your lives.
So what's coming up? Anything you can divulge on this session?
No. So, the big thing will be one of the top issues that people are talking about is going to be the appropriations vote for Medicaid expansion. So there's 2 open seats in the Senate right now. You had Senator Eddie Joe Williams that had, resigned, stepped down
I didn't know Eddie Joe. What happened?
Yeah, so he stepped down to take a job with the Federal Energy Department.
Oh, that's right. I heard that.
And then, Senator Greg Standridge, dear friend and colleague, he passed away after a long battle with cancer. Late last year.
So we have special elections there.
And so there you have special elections. And so because those elections won't be decided until May 22nd. And so they won't be there for the fiscal session, obviously. And so, naturally that's going to mean that you're going to have to pick up some votes from people that have historically opposed the expansion process. But again, this is going to be the 4th year that I've gone through this. It always works out where they get the votes and they have it and it goes through. I don't expect, I'm sure this year will be the same as it has been historically. It'll be maybe a little bit more difficult. But again, this program is not going to be sustainable. And so whether we end it here at the state level or we sit back and just decide we're going to let our counterparts at the federal level, roll this thing back and spare us the political, the political realities of having to do it ourselves, it's still going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Folks still aren't going to like it. But again, That's why you shouldn't go off and start expanding entitlements and doing all these things to begin with, because once you start giving people free stuff and then you go to try to take it away,
it becomes an addiction.
It becomes an addiction.
There you go. Filled in on the Paul Harrell Show the week of January 9th through 12th, and I talked some of this with, I think it was maybe Nelda Speaks, but, we talk about Governor Hutchinson and Arkansas Works and the private option. He inherited this mess.
Sure he did.
And so I think he's trying to do the very best he can with what come on, I can give you a box of tools and say, go build me a car, but if you have anything to build a car out of, you can't do it with a good set of tools.
So the governor inherited this, and, he's applied for some waivers, and the feds did just recently approve some work requirements, which is great. Now, another thing that he'd asked for, that his administration had asked for, that they have not approved, and from what I'm understanding is most likely won't happen anytime in the near-term future, is to lower the eligibility level from 138% of federal poverty down to 100%.
Yeah.
And so, it doesn't seem like there's, that the feds are looking to approve that waiver anytime soon. Maybe it does get approved at some point down the road. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they come back and they make some other structural changes to this, and I believe they will. But, the hard thing is these costs are going to continue to grow. The state's going to continue to pick up, more and more of the cost as years go by. And, again, we're not getting to the underlying part of the problem here. Free insurance is not the same as, an educated person that understands, preventative medicine.
Yeah.
So, don't eat Big Macs and drink Mountain Dew, 2 liters of Mountain Dew every day. You've got to, maybe exercise, look at your diet, do things that are going to reduce your need to, to draw healthcare resources. And if you're getting something for free and it's costing you nothing, well, then you're probably not overly empathetic to what can I do on my part to keep these costs as low as possible.
Yeah. I'll never forget being in Kennett, Missouri one time talking with two boys, and this is back when Obamacare was just coming of age, and the little African American, oh yeah, it's going to be free. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't have to pay for it. Somebody has to.
Somebody has to. And
I said, I could buy your lunch, I can buy your burger, your fries, and your Coke, and give it to you. And you may not have paid me anything for that, but I paid for it out of my pocket. Somebody has to pay for it. The doctor's not going to work for free, and the hospital's sure not going to work for free.
Although there are all federal laws that require them to do the uncompensated care.
Yeah.
So if you show up to the ER, hospital can't just turn you away because you don't have insurance. They're required, to give you care. And so that's always been a sticking point with them, and I understand that, and it's always been a difficult situation. But that kind of attitude, mentality, and it's widespread in society today, which is when you use these resources, it takes away resources from somebody else. And there are people out there in true need. There are kids out there with disabilities that really do need therapy and need help. And when you're abusing a program and you're not doing things that are within your control to mitigate the expense and the cost that you're going to have on this program because there's other people besides you, that has an impact. And it's coming at the expense of something else. We call them opportunity costs. And so, again, we can never right this ship if it's just government alone is responsible. At some level, there ought to be something within each and every one of us that we feel like we have a personal stake in this, and we have a personal responsibility to make sure we're doing what we can.
Final 30 seconds.
Be stewards as we possibly can of our limited resources. I won't give them to you, Dale. I always like to give you the last 30 seconds.
Wow.
Man.
Boy, I'm glad I put it on Facebook.
This is a good show. We flew right through this one.
It really did. No, I enjoyed it.
It's always fun talking with the senator, and wish you the best in Little Rock during fiscal session.
Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully you have me back on, and I can keep you all abreast of what's going on down there. And
maybe do some call-ins.
Absolutely, I love it. Love to.
So,
stay tuned. Jim Bumgardner
coming
is up
up
next.
We will see you tomorrow. See you at the chamber dinner tonight. Have a good day, everybody.